Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome from Florida, Senator Rick Scott.
Good morning. It's great to be here. What a great crowd. This is fun. Thanks for caring, by the way. Thanks for caring about this country. Thanks for caring about your families. Thanks for making the difference to make sure we change this country. The first thing I want to do is I want to thank Matt and Mercedes for inviting me and for all their hard work in putting this together. You're going to have some great speakers. I know President Trump's coming, I think, tomorrow, so that'll be fun. I'm head of the Senate committee, so I think J.D. Vance is coming, so I know he's going to do a great job. He'll be the next Republican senator, next senator from Ohio. And then the next speaker after me is somebody I've gotten to know over the last 3.5 years. I've been in the Senate 3.5 years, and I can tell you, your next speaker is one of the most principled individuals I know. He will always stand up for what he believes. Senator Ted Cruz will always do the right thing. Great nations don't automatically last forever. Writing about Rome, historian Will Durant said, "A great civilization is not conquered from without until it has first destroyed itself from within." Think about that. Great civilizations that have collapsed or been conquered by a foreign adversary were first hollowed out from the inside. We Americans were the most spoiled people on earth. We have been given such a great heritage, and we've taken it for granted. The founding fathers of our country, men like George Washington, Thomas Jefferson, James Madison, men who are now considered to be evil racists according to the top scholars in America's most elite universities. These men set us on a course for success the world has never before seen. We survived the War of 1812, the Civil War, World War I and II, Korea, Vietnam, the Cold War. But now, today, we face the greatest danger we have ever faced. The militant left wing in our country has become the enemy within. You're going to say, oh, that's pretty dramatic. You're calling them the enemy within. Yes, I am, and here's why. Let's do a quick situation report. The militant left has now seized control of our economy, our culture, and our country. When you turn on the news at night, do you even recognize the country you see? Are you worried for your family? Are you worried for your freedoms? The woke left now controls the Democrat Party, the entire federal government, the news media, academia, big tech, Hollywood, most corporate boardrooms, and now even some of our top military leaders. They are working hard to redefine our country, silence their opponents, and that means each of you. They're destroying about just everything they touch, and they've got their hands on everything. Here's the thing about what they're trying to destroy: American patriotism, border security, American history, gender, traditional morality, capitalism, fiscal responsibility, opportunity, rugged individualism, Judeo-Christian values, free speech, law enforcement, religious liberty, parental involvement in schools, and even private ownership of firearms. The woke left wants all of that gone. They want to end the American experiment. They want to replace freedom with their control. The elites in the government are telling us what we can and cannot believe, what we can think, and what we can do. They want to completely control our lives. Woke government-run schools, woke government-run healthcare, woke government-run media, woke government-run everything. In their new socialist order, everyone will obey and no one will be allowed to complain. If you do speak up, boom, you're going to be canceled. Your views, if you don't conform with big tech, Fauci, or Neil Young, you're going to be taken off Spotify, YouTube, Facebook, and Twitter. The militant left in America are the modern-day version of book burners. Canceling, silencing, and banning from the internet is book burning. These are the most narrow-minded, intolerant people our country has ever seen. They are completely ignorant of both world history and American history. Socialism leads to two things: poverty and oppression. Socialism is not a new idea. It's one of the dumbest, oldest, and most discredited ideas of the 20th century that resulted in the deaths of 100 million people. Yet these Democrats, who have no idea how the real world works, are acting like they just invented socialism. The modern wacky left Democrat has never read George Orwell. They don't know they're making his predictions come true. Let's be clear. What the militant left is now proposing is not simply wrong, it is evil. It is evil, and the results are evil. Now, the Biden presidency, they brought us one new thing. They have successfully merged radical left-wing policies with complete gross incompetence. It's hurting people, it's hurting families. Rip-roaring inflation, empty shelves, babies in the United States of America without formula. You can't make that happen. You can't believe that. Dangerous invasion of our borders, drugs and criminals marching in every day, escalating debt and spending, the inept withdrawal from Afghanistan, left-wing indoctrination of our children in our public schools, and murder all across this country. Criminals are not being prosecuted, but police are being executed. So it makes you think, is this the beginning of the end of America? It could be, but only if we allow it. Now, here's the good news. The backlash is coming. The opposition is building. Americans in flyover country have had enough of this woke, elitist nonsense. Each of us want our freedom back. I believe it's time to rescue America. As the old saying goes, don't wait for the instructions from headquarters, just mount up and ride to the sound of the guns. It's time to take our country back. This fall, the American people are going to give a complete butt-kicking to the Democrats. But after we win, then what? That's what I came to talk to you about. If the Republicans return to Washington's business as usual, if we have no bigger plan than be a speed bump on the road to socialism, we don't deserve to govern. In Washington, we need new majorities in the House and the Senate, and we need a new plan. So in February, I released an 11-step plan, 11-point plan to rescue the country. It's got 128 very specific policy ideas. Look, I'm a business guy. I built businesses all my life. I believe the hour is late for this country, and if we don't have a plan, nothing's going to happen. We can't just say, oh, gosh, we're going to do our best and hope it all works out. If you want to turn something around, you make a plan, you make big changes, and you do it today. Now, you can go to rescueamerica.com and you can read the entire plan. But let me just give you a few points. The plan calls for every child in every school to say the Pledge of Allegiance, stand for the anthem, and learn that America is the greatest country in this world. The plan calls for a complete end to racial politics. We're going to stop government from asking anybody what their race or skin color is. We're going to judge people based on their character. They're all made in the image of God, and judging a person on the color of their skin is immoral. The plan says we're going to treat socialism as a foreign adversary, and we're going to use all force to stop it from destroying this great country. The plan calls for a complete end to our relationship with communist China. We've got to extract ourselves from dependence on communist China and stop buying their products. When you see something that says made in China, send it back. They want to destroy us. We cannot rely on them for anything. Not pharmaceuticals, computer chips, TVs, clothing, cheap toys, any of their crap. Now, the next one's going to make me a little less popular in Washington. I think we ought to have term limits for politicians. Not just for politicians, but for government bureaucrats. We have to eliminate this permanent ruling class in Washington that thinks our government belongs to them. It doesn't. Now, here's some controversial things. Men are men. Women are women. Unborn babies are human beings. Science confirms that. The plan calls for a complete end to voter fraud and for protecting the integrity of each and every election. Look, the Democrats know they can't win any elections with their crazy woke ideas, so what they want to do, they want to rig elections, institutionalize voter fraud. We're not going to allow it. We're going to declare a complete end to the foolish, soft-on-crime ideas that are destroying our country, our cities, and killing innocent Americans. If you don't prosecute, if you're a prosecutor and you don't prosecute, you're going to get fired. We're going to fund the police and teach our kids to respect the police because they're the good guys and the criminals, they're the bad guys. Finally, nations have borders. We're going to secure a border, build the damn wall, and when we finish it, we're going to name it after President Donald J. Trump. Now, it's got some other ideas, but you know what the critics in Washington say about my plan to rescue the country? The Democrats say I'm not woke, I'm not. And they say I'm not serious, I am. They say I'm a racist in some way or the other because that's what they say about anything or anybody they disagree with. The Washington insiders, the woke media, the socialist squad, they roll their eyes when anyone reminds them that America is a great country full of great people. And we will not be stopped. In Washington, they tell us our plan won't work and nothing's going to change. Washington is full of do-nothing people who believe that no conservative can change ever. They're wrong. But nothing will change as long as they're in charge. And that's why we're going to get rid of them. Some Republicans complain about my plan. They mostly do it anonymously, but not completely. But the fun part is, this plan is driving Joe Biden's nuts. He keeps lashing out at me, he did today again, because I have the nerve to write a plan and to call him out for what he is. I regard this as a badge of honor. People in Washington, they all tiptoe around the truth. They're afraid to tell the truth. Joe Biden is incapacitated and incompetent, and leading us to a recession. If he cared about the country, resign. We are not going to be intimidated by Biden, by establishment Republicans who don't want us to have a plan to change this country. We have no fear of standing up for what is right to rescue this country. That's the kind of old thing that got us where we are today. We don't control the House, the White House, or the Senate. I think it's time we each have to get serious. It's time to have a plan. It's time to execute a plan. God favors the bold. We are going to win this fight. Freedom is worth fighting for. America is worth fighting for. I hope you'll download the plan, read the plan, give me your ideas. Look, we're going to continue to make changes. You're not going to agree with everything. That's okay. I want to make something happen. We're going to add things. In fact, we just added some. We just added a completely new section on taxation. We've had more than, I think, over 250,000 people read it. Thousands of people have given us their ideas. I think we need everybody's idea. So don't be timid. This is the time to be bold. Our nation's future can be bright, but we need to have a plan to get this country back. Look, before you read it, it's going to, it's going to make some people mad. It's good. It's not for the faint of heart. It's going to trigger some people. I think that's good. It's going to strike heart and fear of some Republicans that don't want change. If it doesn't scare the people in Washington, we didn't aim high enough. We've got to make change. The fight to rescue this country from socialism is our fight. The fight for freedom is the fight of our lifetime. We have got to stand up and not be controlled by the Democrats, by government, by the elites, by anybody. We must and we will prevail. We've got to start in November. Thank you, and God bless you in this great country. Have a great day.